I think that was the last time I played at the Horseshoe. We won't dive into that game. We're gonna.
He would put the notes handwritten up on a projector instead of using a PowerPoint like every other coach.
It's Tuesday, sir. I'm tired. These coaches get 9 lives while players get
A half a
9
life.
days. I mean, I was a P squad grinder, man. Hey, welcome, Big Ten fans. I'm glad you guys are here. Today I've got a great guest, Joshua Perry, Ohio State. Great. Played against him in 2012, I believe, was your freshman year. So we played. Yep. I think that was the last time I played at the Horseshoe. We won't dive into that game. We're gonna talk about some fun stuff today. Recap training camp. So Josh, jumping right into it, brother. The league was just interesting, man. I just thought it wasn't what I expected. You know, like I grew up thinking that the NFL was this mecca of business, right, of football, sure, and that it was a well-oiled machine and that only the best of the best of the best of the best get to be a part of it. And that's just not the case.
Like the NFL is one of those scenarios, once you get in, if you don't want to leave, you really don't have to leave.
Right.
And I think by and large, there are mostly good coaches to great coaches there, but there are also like some guys who have definitely been around a little bit stale and kind of in the whole deal. I'm not going to get too far into that. I had some super interesting coaches when I was in the league, and probably the most interesting one was my linebacker coach my second offseason with the Chargers. And this guy was ridiculous because he would sit up, first off, old school guy. So he would put the notes handwritten up on a projector instead of using a PowerPoint like every other coach.
like an elementary school, what were those with the see-through paper? What was that called?
Yeah, no, he had like the projector with the little sheets and everything.
Oh, man.
And you know, it gets rough too when they start scribbling on him. Like, it's bad enough on the whiteboard when they start scribbling, they don't erase, but he's doing it on the overhead. It was terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. And then they try and like clean it off and it just wipes and it's smeared. Oh, man. And you're in there people don't realize you're in there for 6 hours a day.
For real.
People, a lot of people don't realize that training camp is from 6:30 in the morning till 9, 10 at night.
And no, most of it's meetings. It's worse.
And then it's meetings. I mean, you only practice, but two and a half and a walkthrough for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, but you're in meetings just all day.
No. So
football school.
We had that guy. He was he was old school in that regard. Like, would only ask rookies and second-year players questions in the meetings. Our vets could do anything. They talked to him any type of way. Yeah. It was cool. A rookie said one thing out of turn, and he would snap. But we would go on the field, and this guy would be up-tempo drills. He'd be yelling, screaming about everything to the point where we would be halfway through individual drills, and he would give us a break, not because we needed a break, but because he was about to pass out from how much he was yelling.
These coaches get 9 lives while players get a half 9 days to prove that they can play with the world's best. The irony is baffling sometimes.
No, that's crazy. So when I was in San Diego, we had a situation where one of our like prominent offensive coaches was he must have been probably like 31 or 32. And it was really interesting watching that dynamic with Phillip Rivers, who was older than him.
Yeah.
Because when you're a coach and your veteran quarterback is older than you, you've got to walk into the meeting room and you've got to be, 8 foot tall and bulletproof.
Yeah, you have to command the room, to say the least.
Yeah. Because the vet guys know exactly what they want to do. They know how they want to run it. And if you can't, first off, you can't prove to them that you know what you're talking about. It's a bad deal. But they're gonna challenge you. They're gonna
challenge you.
Yeah, they're gonna make sure.
They're gonna grill you.
Yeah. So that was always really interesting, and they had a really good relationship, so there were never issues. But I'm just thinking, if that was me and I had to walk in day one, vet quarterback's been in that city, for ever, his whole career, and I'm coming in.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the Rushmore of athletes for that city.
Yeah, no, who are they getting rid of first, the vet quarterback or me?
Yeah.
It's one of those scenarios. You got to make sure you're on your game.
The LeBron effect, if you will.
Yeah.
But no, that's a really good point. And I experienced that in Denver. They brought in a receivers coach where like DT and Emmanuel, it was his first year in the league, and Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders are in his room. And they're like, this dude's a college coach. Like, what is he doing? And they butted heads every day. And like to see that, what that does, the turmoil that it creates in the room with even the younger guys is dangerous, man. Because you can be throwing gasoline on the fire with that one. Anytime you put cameras on people, I think behavior changes a little bit. I think that's just naturally. I don't know if you're going to be yourself. You'll know the guys like that are mic'd up. They're telling them, "Hey, I'm hot today." Like, chill. So I think,
especially when the league came through with their crew.
yeah,
You definitely want to make sure you don't say anything crazy.
Yeah, you're like, "Hey, I'm Mike. Don't say anything to me." Is it? Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I got church Saturday night with my wife and ice cream Saturday night with my wife, church on Sunday." And
that's it. Period.
There was no, I don't know about you, JP, but there was no rookies. There was no like, oh, we're not going to do this in the NFL. If there was a rookie show, you were performing. If they wanted you to carry the pads, you carried the pads. So all that stuff is true in my experience. But as far as like the haircuts and stuff, I thank God I never experienced a haircut.
Yeah. Yeah. We watched one rookie who tried to push back he didn't want to carry pads, which it's not that big a deal at the end of the day, just carry on pads, but he didn't want to do that. And then the D line was always the worst because they would make the rookies buy snacks for the room and go and pick up dry clean and all kind of different stuff. And he didn't want to buy snacks. And so they tortured him. His whole rookie year, it was like training camp the whole year because he didn't do what he was asked to do during training camp.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff that's like harmless, right? Like you're the new guy, like carry pads. It's not a big deal. I think like buy snacks. We had rookies buy candy in our Baltimore room, like if candy ran out. Yeah. But like cutting dudes' eyebrows and shaving heads. When I was in Tampa, man, they took this one kid's head and they just shaved the very top of it just so he had a bald spot. Oh, brother.
I'd have been tight. I'd have been so mad.
Buy some candy for the team or carry pads. I think all that was harmless.
Yeah, I mean, every rookie's kind of got to earn their dues too. Like it's not, you're not the first rookie that's had to carry pads, that's had to run out and pick up somebody's order from a restaurant, or go get some stuff from a store. Like you're not special. Just it's what guys do. You got to earn your stripes just like everyone else.
Yep, it's been going on for years. Just bring the lunch to the plane, you're gonna be fine. It's not that big a deal. Yep, I agree, brother. It's it's interesting. I think it's just the egos sometimes that get in the way of guys. But at the same time, it's a lot of times some of these guys aren't real nice about like, hey, bring my food to the plane, Right. So it's a fine line, as is anything.
Yeah, it definitely is. Did y'all do rookie dinners?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, rookie dinners were based on how much your signing bonus was. So some of them were pretty hefty.
That's how we ended up doing it too, but we did it by position group. We didn't do it, offense, defense, or anything.
It was position group.
And so I was the highest drafted in my position group. So I ended up having to carry the bulk of the bill on that one. And thankfully, we did it after they cut down the roster.
Oh, so, you guys did it after? See.
Yeah. So it wasn't the whole training camp linebacker roster in there, thankfully. But I still ended up spending a couple of G's.
Yeah.
Dudes get in there and they want to start ordering fine wines and high-end liquors.
Right. It's just
I'm like, man, and if you're going to drink this on your own,
they leave
order it with my money.
Yep, and they leave half of it on the table, man.
Man, terrible. Quarterbacks are notorious for giving out great gifts to their O-line. Running backs are as well. Yeah. Von Miller sent out wine from his winery or whatever.
Yeah, I saw
everybody in the AFC West.
Yeah, everybody in the AFC West. I was like,
so what kind of money are you working with? I know it's his wine, but
that man's chicken farm is killing it.
I swear, I wouldn't getting anybody a daggone Christmas card, let alone a gift.
Right, a whole case of wine. Wow.
Yeah, so it was definitely unique to watch that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a perfect thing. Like what we've been talking about, this the difference in worlds, even at that level.
For sure,
it's incredible.